I think it is interesting that this decade's two most defining cartoons were both headed by women. In fact, the first female showrunners for Hub and Cartoon Network respectively. And both of those shows revolutionized the industry, with Foss showing that girl shows can be both good and successful, Rebecca Sugar showing that LGBT attributes are not bad or taboo for children's entertainment. Now, a third show completes this trinity. Disney XD and Darren Nefsky's Star vs. the Forces of Evil. And yes, I know I mispronounced that name. Yeah, this should come as no surprise to my longtime viewers because, all of this. But put simply, I just adore Star vs. the Forces of Evil and really recommend it to any fan of MLP. And for once, this is not just my opinion, but a scientifically tested fact.
He used us as test subjects.
All this time you were using us?
I force you! A sample!
I am insulted at the lack of money here.
Star vs. the Forces of Evil is a show that follows new Disney princess Star Butterfly, no relation, I think, who on her 14th birthday was given her family's magic wand, a decision they regret within one jump cut. Instead of sending Star to Princess Jail, St. Olga's Reform School for Wayward Princesses, they opt for an exchange student program to teach Star independence and responsibility in a universe far, far away, California. There she befriends and lives with the resident safety kid Marco Diaz, or as I like to refer to him as, puppy with a wolf complex.
I'm a misunderstood bad boy. You're adorable!
Together, Star and Marco must survive the horrors of a public education while fighting off the forces of evil to prevent them from getting Star's reality warping Infinity Gauntlet. Wand. So what makes Star vs. so good? Sort of everything. See, as I've established way back in my first early videos, I believe in the trinity when it comes to fiction writing, at least good fiction writing. And that trinity is good narrative, good characters, and good universe. And Star vs. the Forces of Evil is an example of a series that meets all three of these with flying colors. First up, let's talk about the narrative or plot. Now, many might write off Star's narrative as episodic shenanigans akin to Looney Tunes. This is an incorrect notion for two reasons. One, tightly written comedic shorts are actually really hard to produce. Just look at all the failed reboots of Looney Tunes. The second is the idea that there's no bigger narrative. Spoilers, there is. In fact, several. There are big overarching themes and hidden and not so hidden messages that are very much for adult audiences or, to establish lessons for future adults. It's very akin to Steven Universe's style that seems trivial episodic filler at first, but builds as the story goes on, with both shows revealing their true colors at about their first season finale. Steven Universe just focuses on LGBT themes, while Star focuses more on colonialism and prejudice. So yeah, just for kids. The characters are where the show really shines though, starting and highlighted by our main duo, Star Butterfly and Marco Diaz. And yes, they are very shippable. Their ship is in fact this fandom's version of Derpy.
Starco was completely platonic.
Starco?
Needless to say, they have a very great chemistry. Star is a Pinkie Pie level extrovert given the power to warp reality, while Marco is a resident level-headed safe kid and also the world's best green belt. Individually, we get this. But together, we get this.
Mega Narwhal Blast!
See, Star represents the adventure Marco always wanted, but was too afraid to try, while Marco is the calm voice of reason that is slowly maturing Star into a proper Queen of Muni. They just complete each other so well. Besides the main duo, the support cast grows and grows, with fan favorites like Star's Barbarian King Father,
Barbarian! Barbarian!
Marco Stalker Jana, and Nikolai, Buffrog.
Here we go again. I am humiliated by child's toy.
Not to mention many more. All this is capped off by the series' villains. Now, many at first might think Star vs. has horrible or just sort of average villains, thanks to the main villain, Ludo. He's your classic moronic buffoon bad guy from the 80s, at least until season 2. Yeah, I've never seen such a character 180 of awesomeness since, ever. Trust me, he gets good. Then there are the later season villains. Miss Heinous, the wardeness of Princess Shell, and Toffee. I don't want to say too much about Toffee to avoid spoilers, but I will say 3 things. 1. He is indeed my favorite cartoon villain in a decade. 2. Disney brought in Dexter's actor to voice his character. Yeah, that Dexter. And 3, Azula summarizes his character actually pretty well.
You've beaten me at my own game.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
But unlike Azula, he's not full of himself or insane. And topping all this off, if you have not noticed by now, is a beautifully animated surreal world where anything can happen. All this combines into a masterpiece that always entertains you while connecting the audience to the characters, one of the best examples of character empathy I've ever seen. What I mean is, we as the audience experience the same emotions as Star. Into the Wand is one of the best examples of this. Not to spoil anything from that episode, but let's just say after the episode, Star feels emotionally drained or burnt out. And yeah, so was I and the whole React audience. The show was visually and narratively able to create Star's emotional state in the audience as well, and it was bucking amazing. So let me just stop beating around the bush and let me just say it here. Star vs. the Forces of Evil is my favorite current cartoon. Yeah, I said it. And no, I'm not saying I hate MLP now, just that I love Star vs. more. I love it like I loved MLP in seasons 1 and 2. The only thing Star vs. made me, hate with the current MLP is episodes with pacing issues. It just can't be as forgiving as it once was when Star vs. can consistently pull off well-paced and fully developed stories in half the airtime. For reference, this is why I might have sounded a little nitpicky with Season 6's finale. I also enjoy it more than Steven Universe as well. For one, Star vs. actually has a logical release schedule. That sounds like it's a little nitpick or something, but it really is horrible with Steven Universe. And 2, Star vs. has a more energetic and fast pace compared to Steven Universe. It's like comparing Fairy Tail to Naruto or One Piece. Star vs. just gets more done quicker. The lack of Lars and Ronaldo episodes helps that significantly, amongst other things. And on general, on top of a more traditional story format compared to Steven Universe's more poetic and symbolic format. What I mean is, Steven Universe sort of feels more like poetry, while Star vs. feels more like a regular cartoon or book. So yeah, I adore this show and easily recommend it to any of my fellow bronies alongside the rest of the Trinity. Well, until next time, keep calm and an open mind.
And you just sit there in your high chair, just watching and studying us
Baby.
as if we are nothing but freaking mice just going on a road with no destination except for the cheese that is your victory. That's I am out.
Again,
I also
I'm
don't
definitely-
take kindly to being used, and I demand financial compensation.
Science?
No, to us being guinea pigs.
That's my reaction. That's my reaction. Science?
Wait,
Not even a little bit offended.
No.